go off. Everybody get back. Everybody get back. When the shots go off.
Starting for MTW to the top right of the map. In red is the former OGS player, the Korean Terran called
MTW SuperNova.
What happens when SuperNova faces Galaxy at some point?
Dude.
I'm sorry. At the bottom left, it's our Protoss player. Of course, starting for Complexity Gaming, starting in blue in his ideas.
Complexity Killer.
Yeah. Still on the run from the authorities.
But he does a good job. I mean, so far they didn't catch him, which is a little bit surprising.
He's on TV, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of a problem.
He has scheduled matches, so sorry guys, but I don't know.
Please can't be bothered.
Yeah.
They got other stuff going on.
What do you mean bother? They are afraid.
Look at this pylon placement, by the way, from Killer in this matchup. Really interesting forward gateway. He may put on some fast stalker aggression as a result. He may even try to punish someone going for Command Center first, which is actually exactly what SuperNova is doing.
You know, you talked about how aggressive Killer is, and he, boom, delivers.
Yeah. He's actually going to make one Zealot and then make a Nexus. He does not start his gases yet at all. I'm going to take it back. Neither is his gas. And SuperNova on the high ground with this Command Center.
They played a game already that SuperNova won with a 2-0, which you can see right here in the round of 8 of Code A. That was already a while back, so a lot of things have changed since then. But now, as you can see, we have on the high ground, as Wolf just pointed out, the Command Center, and immediately the barracks, whereas Killer, on the other hand, is now producing his first Zealot. He chrono boosts the Zealot and has rallied right towards his opponent's main base.
Yeah, this can really give a Terran player a lot of problems when they go for Command Center first. You have to micro a lot, you will lose mine time no matter what. He is going to wall off fully here, but even so, he's going to have to repair that depot for a little bit before the first Marine is out. But it's going to go to show that this build is actually extremely safe when you make the Command Center on the high ground, because even though he's going to get there with the Zealot as fast as humanly possible, with a forward gateway and chrono boost with a fast gate, SuperNova with good micro and reaction time will literally lose no SCVs most likely.
Just think about how annoying this would have been if SuperNova would have decided to build this Command Center on the low ground. The SCV would have been taken down by the Zealot, and then of course the expansion would have been delayed. So right now Killer finds himself in a position where he is just, once again, a bit out of luck.
Yeah. And see, he cannot even quite break through here. Oh, the SCV will be taken out though.
Yep, takes down the SCV, already dead. So at least he's able to delay the second barracks for a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to wait and see if the SCV pops on the outside for a second with both of his Zealots, and then if that does not occur, then he's just going to be done here. I think his second Stalker actually tried to kill that SCV, and this actually will delay the Stalker, but the Stalker could do more damage.
The problem is, what exactly is Killer's follow-up going to be here? Because if he tries to get his own expansion, he will be significantly behind. He's getting his Nexus. He's getting his Nexus while SuperNova is already done with his entire Command Center. So right now, he has the double Mule, he has double SCV production, and he can wait a tiny little bit before he moves those one Command Center on the low ground. So this is a little bit better for SuperNova here indeed, but he has to be careful against the Stalker.
Yeah, this is actually so cool what Killer is doing. We hardly ever see pressure like this in StarCraft 2. This is more of a StarCraft-esque type of thing you can do with Dragoons, but he's just using the Zealots for vision and damaging those Marines as much as possible. He wants to deny this Command Center here, and if the Marines come on the low ground, he can actually fight them directly with the Stalker. And if his Zealots were still here, he could have even tried to trade, but that would be pretty tough to make work.
Nice micro so far by Killer, but he's now losing hit points on the Stalker, and he really needs to fall back, especially now that SuperNova has the high ground and Killer doesn't have the vision. The bunker is already being produced, and the third gas, very fast here for SuperNova as well. He's already mining from double refinery in his main base.
Yeah, and in this matchup, you start to bank up gas quite a bit in the early game before mid-game hits, where you start producing those medevacs and marauders. So he's going to get that third gas, but it's going to allow him to upgrade, get medevacs, get the marauders, get stim, combat shields, all the upgrades he needs. It's very important for him to get that third gas as quickly as possible. SuperNova with a siege tank tech potential here, with that tech lab going down on the factory, no starport. Looks like he's going to be playing things a little bit young style. Oh, got to be careful with that Stalker.
Yeah, the Stalker's still low on hit points, but by now the shields are regenerating. And the Harvester count is fairly even, only 2 ahead for Killer. And we have, as you already mentioned, we have the Siege Tank tech here for SuperNova with the tech lab at the factory is going straight for the Siege mode. This could hit a pretty interesting timing.
Yeah, he really could, and this is going to be really scary for Killer, but at the same time, he's getting Robotic Support Bay, which with no Banshee support and with no real Marauders in the mix, oh, look at that catch on the Stalker, that's quite huge. But he's going to really struggle to use these Marines, which, by the way, are also all injured from the Stalker pressure.
One of the problems also is that he just doesn't have a starport at all. So it's not like he's going for medivacs. He's really preparing for this. And there's the starport, a bit delayed. If Killer gets extended thermal lance right away, then he will be prepared for any kind of push.
I feel like SuperNova may get the starport and make 1 medevac and then just start Viking production as soon as he realizes what's going on. He has no scout information of Killer whatsoever. Both players supply blocked here for just a moment. As the pylons and depots finish, double upgrades going to be started for Killer. Kind of doing a catch-all build here, but he you know, kind of mistimed this a little bit because now he struggles to make the Colossus and the upgrades, but he will eventually be able to do both.
He can't get Colossus +1/+1 and extended thermal lance at the same time. He's too limited by his gas and his minerals at this point with the 2 bases that he has. SuperNova now with the first medivacs, he's still sitting tight here. Might actually soon decide to get another command center on the high ground and work towards this 3rd base.
Yeah, it depends on what he really wants to do here. If he hits this time with Stim +1, a few medevacs, and Siege Tanks, that could be quite strong. But taking a 3rd base would be equally as likely, I feel, especially considering he's continuing to produce SCVs right now.
Yeah, he doesn't cut down his worker production, and the problem for him is definitely that we have Killer now with the Colossus tech. The first Colossus is already out. Is he getting extended thermal lance and the second though? Yes, the second Colossus is now being built.
If he doesn't start it right now, he's going to skip it and go for the 1 Colossus build. Looks like that's what he's planning, because he's got enough resources now. There's no reason to not. Boom, another Observer taken out, but Killer knows what's going on. He's going to be able to defend against this push really, really easily.
Yeah, he should be. He doesn't have the range upgrade, but he has 2 Colossi, and he will have the high ground advantage. There's the range upgrade.
He's up for the Zealot. He took that Zealot out, man. That Zealot was so screwed.
It was a killer Zealot. Oh, that's only goal. Moves in, takes on the Zealot, and he's like,
I'm out of
mission
here.
Accomplished.
He doesn't even do the drop in the main because there's Stalkers waiting for him. Killer really scouting well and also just preparing in every single way for any sort of pressure that SuperNova may put on. He's going to go into the main base, or the natural rather, but there's Colossi so nearby that this is not going to be able to do more than maybe get 1 probe kill.
1, 2, 3, and needs to fall back. The Marine was cheeky. Jumped into the medevac and apparently was pretty rude to the pilot. The pilot drops him again. Is like, okay, well, if you don't like me, then you will die. What is this? Why is he dropping single Marines and then moving back? They can't be that unfriendly.
Yeah, that was a bit strange that we just saw there. By the way, 1-1 upgrades finishing for Killer.
Do you know those stickers that you have at the back of the car? Do you like my driving? And then just a number. The Marine jumps in and is like, hey man, you really have no idea how to drive one of those medivacs. And the medivac girl is like, what? And just throws them out of the medivac. Well, have fun dying to the Colossus.
That was pretty much what just happened. The rest of the Marines come back happily. No complaints about the driving. And, you know,
they immediately shut up.
Yeah, I have to say the driving was quite fine, I feel.
It was okay. I mean, there were no detours. Didn't go and bought shoes or whatever. No, straight back to the base.
Yeah, no ice cream needed.
Yeah, exactly. Even this this dress at a reduced price didn't tempt her. She went straight for the main base.
Even that, 8-year-old girl in the medevac who really wanted to stop and get a soda at the convenience store. No, the pilot said no. You can just have when we get home.
Yeah, there was basically nothing to complain about. I don't get those Marines. In the end, they got what they deserved.
Yeah, certainly, man. SuperNova's push actually that's coming out right now is quite strong with 6 siege tanks in it. He's going to have right now 1-1 upgrades as well, even with his opponent. And the army supply is 97 to 60.
Exactly. He has a huge supply advantage already. He's still on 2 bases, so he wants to make this timing work. He's not transitioning into a third, and this right now is really looking scary. Killer has to be so careful. There are 5 Vikings already. He has 3 additional ones against the 4 Colossi, and this third, he has to cancel. He has no way of defending this.
Yeah, he's got to cancel that so fast. And actually, the Nexus was likely to be his next pylon. Now he's making 2. He's supply blocked, can't make units. Whereas SuperNova may start the elevator in here a little bit and start picking away at these assimilators. This is a very rarely used strategy, but when you have this many Vikings in this matchup, you can make this work.
He can completely zone out his opponent's army here. We have now the Vikings and 8 of them on the map, trying to get a good shot off at those Colossi, and Killer has to be really careful. He's under a lot of pressure here.
Yeah, takes out some of the hit points of that Colossus. The range upgrade is done, but now he can actually just start to move his tanks around the complete edge. He can even run in with Marines to the natural. Killer really needs to make sure to split his units appropriately because right now they're all in one place.
The Colossi.
Wow.
That's a lot of free shots.
This is such a cool build by SuperNova on this map, and he's actually going to take out the Colossus with the next wave of missiles. There it goes.
First Colossus is
Second
gone.
one as well is about to fall here.
Awesome, and he didn't get any of his Vikings killed. This is really great, and now he's in such a super position when it comes down to just putting pressure onto the wall of Killer.
Even having bunkers in position so that a big breakout is impossible.
Drop in the main base right now at the mineral line forces Killer back once more.
And he's trying to catch his opponent's Colossi out of the pathing mistake with those Vikings. A really cool idea, but Killer is safe with those. But he's down 50 supply here, doesn't have a third Nexus, and SuperNova can, and he does, start his third command center. Killer is in dire straits. He's about to have an upgrade advantage at 2-2 versus 1-1 as SuperNova does not have that armory. But is that going to matter when he's got so many units, especially the siege tanks here to add the extra DPS?
And the bunkers as well. He's just bunkering towards this expansion, getting into a better position every 10 seconds. This is just great. The Vikings are still making sure that those Colossi cannot engage. And look at the reinforcements now crawling across the map. So many Marauders.
He is targeting down the Twilight Council, wants to get it, but he does not. And it looks like Blink will finish, but the reinforcements that you were talking about are now going to run to the natural.
2 additional Colossi have died already. Those Vikings really doing a great job. And now here are the Bio units trying to take down the third base.
All the bunkers
natural.
Yeah, and the bunkers are just getting closer and closer, man. With 2 more bunkers, he will actually be able to hit that Nexus. And he's just going to walk forward regardless with the siege tank support here. The Vikings as well. The Colossus out of shields. He does blink forward and take out some of these Vikings. The Zealot runs in. He's going to try to break this, but there's too many units.
The Viking count is getting a little bit lower, but most of the Colossi are already gone using the force fields here. The tanks are still going strong, and now the upgrade advantage for Killer is, of course, something that helps him, but not enough as SuperNova has a 70 supply lead and more units crawling across the map.
Yeah, there's just too many siege tanks here for support as well. He cannot use any Zealots. All the Zealots he used earlier have basically been killed regardless. Nexus getting low on shields. It's going to start to fall here. SuperNova attacks with his Marauders. Tries to bait the Zealots forward into the siege tank fire, but even if he doesn't, the siege tanks can shell that Nexus, and they do.
There are not a lot of medivacs, but at this point he doesn't really need them anymore. Another one dies that gives him vision on the high ground, but he takes down the natural.
Yeah, natural is gone, and Killer out of supply, out of economy. SuperNova now has that third base completed. He can drop it down at any moment. And with the death of these Stalkers, SuperNova now doubles the supply of Killer.
Killer is now just trying to control this choke point, and SuperNova does not have to attack into the choke point. There's just no reason, but with the siege tanks he can't do it.
Yeah, and the tanks just doing so much damage to Colossus. Even one Viking remains alive. This is going to be it for Killer in game number 1. SuperNova has done it. The MTW player takes game number 1 in the up and down match. Is looking really good here. And it shows that his European performance is not a fluke. GG.
GG indeed. SuperNova with win number 1. Creator, Vampire and SuperNova taking a victory in their first game in the up and down group today, whereas Happy, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Killer, they lost the first match.
Yeah. And this kind of sets the precedent for the rest of the group. Obviously, it's the starting point. Obviously, with a 6-player group, we have a lot more games to go through, and it's a situation where you're not out by any means if you have 2 losses, but the players who have 1 loss are going to be the ones who have to be a little bit more careful here.
Yeah, a little more pressure on them. And right now, guys, we are, of course, once again in position heading into the first break today. And when we come back, we have 3 additional games. We have Happy against Vampire, we have Create against SuperNova. That's going to be a really good one. and of course Yu-Gi-Oh! Up against Killer. So 3 games that are coming up after a short break. We'll see you in 5 here at the Up and Down matches. Carl and Wolf.